Welcome back to another edition of Coffee Time with TD. Move over, Rover, and let TD take over. Be good or be good at it. God is great always in always. So, President Donald Trump, Billy Big Bollocks, has announced that a trade deal with China is done. A done deal, to be precise. That is a direct quote from President Donald Trump. The truth is, there's a framework for a deal, right? There's not a deal. It's not a done deal. It's not even close to being done. And if you want to know how close it is, the US dollar plummeted this morning, dropping the lowest it's been against the euro in, 10, 15 years. There's a framework for a deal. There's nothing. It's like when President Donald Trump, during the debate, said he had a concept of a plan to replace Obamacare. Basically, what I'm taking away from these meetings in London is that Lutnick basically left the meeting and said, listen, we can't tell the American people that we have sweet fuck all, so let's come up with something we can tell them, like we have the framework for a deal, right? Let's tell them that, because we know Trump's acolytes, followers, believers, his flock will believe anything, even though there's absolutely no truth to it whatsoever. None. None. There's no trade deal. There's no nothing. And, again, my personal opinion is basically nothing was even remotely close to getting done. And Lutnick said, listen, we have to be able to tell the American people something other than we're walking around holding our little peckers in our hands, right? So let's say we have a framework for a deal. And then President Donald Trump will, it's a done deal, and this, that, whatever. No, it's not. That's a lie. That is a lie. It is not a done deal. There is a framework for a deal which amounts to absolutely sweet fuck all. Nada, nunca, nothing. That's what it amounts to. It's just like saying, I have a concept of a plan to replace Obamacare. No different. It's the exact same thing. But when you think about it, it's such a blatant lie, right? It is a blatant, there's no truth to it. It is a blatant lie. And the overwhelming majority of American citizens are fine with it. That is a blatant lie. Done deal. There is no truth to that. That is a blatant lie, saying that it is a done deal with China. Right? That is a blatant lie. And the American people are okay with it. Full stop, end of. They do not care. Because the truth is, and the Chinese representatives came out and said, yeah, we have a framework for a deal. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. A framework for a deal. That's it. But President Donald Trump, Billy Big Bollocks, it's like, I really do think that when he was sitting in his casino, that was, as the doors were being padlocked, he was really sitting there telling the banks, the casino's doing well. Like, clearly he's delusional, delusions of grandeur. But, there's obviously clearly a bigger issue, a bigger problem, right, that needs to be addressed. Because none of it's true. It's just like saying people in Ohio are eating the dogs and cats, right? And Americans, the overwhelming majority of Americans are okay with it, which is alarming in itself. I don't even know what to say to that, but it goes into a bigger picture of the dumbification of America, the United States of stupid, the long-term pandemic of stupid that we are in. People just do not fucking care. They do not care about anything. And that is the truth. They do not fucking care that the President of the United States just told a fucking lie. It is not a done deal. There is the framework for a trade deal with China. I don't even know if that's fucking true. Because I personally think, like I said, that they left the meeting, Lutnick left the meeting and said, listen, we got to tell something to the American people or we're going to look like fucking donkeys, right? So let's come up with the framework for a deal. That's how I took it. But why? Why are Americans so okay, the overwhelming majority of Americans, so okay with the President of the United States being so dishonest? and the most dishonest cabinet, the most dishonest administration the United States has ever seen. It makes Nixon look like a fucking choir boy. Let me know what you think. Love you.